The house had grown strangely quiet since that night. After Mr. Harrison, the millionaire, saw the maid's daughter, Lily, dancing with his paralyzed daughter, Emily, he had been silent, neither furious nor kind. For days, he avoided the east wing where Emily's room was, and the air around the mansion felt heavier, as though every breath carried an unspoken secret. The servants whispered in corners, uncertain whether Lily would be dismissed or thanked. Even Maria, the maid, seemed to work like a ghost, her eyes red from sleepless nights, dreading the inevitable call from her employer. Lily tried to act normal, cleaning the floors, folding linens, and staying close to her mother, but her mind kept returning to that night. Emily's laughter, the light in her eyes when she managed to move her legs slightly during their dance. It had been a small miracle, one Lily hadn't expected. She didn't mean to disobey any rules, she only wanted to help the lonely girl who stared at the world through her bedroom window every day. But the look on Mr. Harrison's face when he caught them, a mix of shock, pain, and something unreadable, haunted her. Emily hadn't spoken much either. Since her accident 2 years ago, she'd lost the will to fight. Doctors said she might never walk again, and her father's fortune could buy her everything except joy. But that night with Lily changed something. For the first time in years, she felt alive, like her spirit had stepped outside her body and found movement again through laughter and rhythm. 3 days later, a message came. Mr. Harrison wanted to see Lily and Maria in his study. The words hit Maria like thunder. She knew what that meant. They were done. Fired. Maria squeezed her daughter's hand, whispering, "Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't cry." The study smelled of old wood and cigar smoke. Mr. Harrison sat behind his desk, gazing at an old photograph, a woman smiling with baby Emily in her arms, his late wife. His eyes lifted slowly to them. "Maria," he began, his voice calm but heavy, "you've worked for me 10 years. I trusted you, and yet your daughter entered my daughter's private quarters without permission." Maria lowered her head. "Sir, I am so sorry. She meant no harm. Please forgive her." But he raised his hand. "I didn't say I was angry." That stopped both of them. He looked between them, then said softly, "I saw something that night I haven't seen in years. My daughter smiled. She tried to move. She was happy." He leaned forward. "Tell me, Lily, how did you do that?" Lily hesitated. "I didn't do anything, sir. Emily just needed a friend. I taught her to feel the music again. Sometimes when you stop thinking about pain, your body remembers how to live." Her words struck him deeper than she knew. For years he'd been drowning in guilt, blaming himself for the accident that took his wife and paralyzed his daughter. He built his walls with money and silence. Yet this maid's daughter had done what doctors couldn't. She brought hope back into his home. He looked away for a moment, exhaling slowly. "Do you dance, Lily?" "Yes, sir. My mother taught me when I was little. She used to say dancing is the way poor hearts dream without money." A faint smile crossed his lips. "Then I want you to teach Emily." Maria gasped. "Sir, you mean—" "Yes," he said firmly. "I'll pay you for your time, but this isn't charity. My daughter needs a teacher, a reason to try." And just like that, the mansion's rhythm changed. Every morning after therapy, Lily came to Emily's room with soft music playing on her old phone. She would help Emily stretch, sway her arms, and guide her through gentle steps while sitting in her wheelchair. At first, Emily struggled. Frustration often turned into tears, but Lily never gave up. "Don't think about walking," she'd whisper. "Just feel the song." One day during a lesson, something extraordinary happened. Emily's foot twitched, just once, but it was enough for Lily to freeze in disbelief. Emily stared at her leg, eyes wide. "Did you see that?" Lily nodded, smiling through tears. "You moved, Emily! You did it!" Mr. Harrison, who had been standing quietly by the doorway, felt his throat tighten. He turned away quickly, hiding the wetness in his eyes. The next week, he arranged for a private physiotherapist to combine dance therapy with medical exercises. Slowly, Emily regained movement, first her toes, then her ankles. Every evening, Mr. Harrison would stand by the door, unseen, watching as the two girls danced, one with her feet, the other with her heart. For the first time in years, laughter filled his mansion again. But not everyone was happy. One of the senior maids, jealous of Lily's growing bond with the family, began spreading rumors that Maria was using her daughter to gain sympathy and money. When word reached Mr. Harrison, he confronted Maria again, this time colder. "People are talking. They say your daughter has other motives. Why didn't you tell me she performs at street events?" Maria's face went pale. "Sir, that's how we survive. We never took anything from you. Please don't misunderstand." He cut her off. "I'm not accusing you, but if you plan to stay here, I need honesty. I can't afford to be wrong again." Maria nodded, trembling. "We have nothing to hide, sir. My only wish is for Emily to heal. My daughter would never use her." Mr. Harrison studied her carefully, torn between doubt and faith. Deep down, something told him Maria was sincere. But before he could respond, a scream echoed from upstairs. It was Emily. He rushed to her room, and what he saw made his heart stop.
Emily had fallen from her wheelchair. Lily was kneeling beside her, shaking, trying to help her up. The girl's eyes were wide, terrified. "I didn't mean to—" "She tried to stand. She said she wanted to surprise you." Emily was sobbing. "I did it, Dad. I stood for 2 seconds. I fell, but I stood." Mr. Harrison froze, unable to breathe. Then he knelt, pulling Emily close, tears streaming freely. "You stood, sweetheart. You really stood." The doctor arrived minutes later, examining her carefully. Miraculously, no bones were broken. "He's improving faster than expected," he said. "Whatever this girl is doing, keep doing it." Mr. Harrison turned to Lily, overwhelmed. "You've given me my daughter back." But Lily shook her head. "No, sir. Emily gave herself back. I just helped her believe." Word spread quietly through the household. The same servants who whispered against them now looked at Lily and Maria with new respect. Even the jealous maid avoided their gaze. Emily's recovery became the mansion's miracle, a story whispered with awe. Weeks passed, and Emily's progress astonished her doctors. She could now take a few steps with support. Each step felt like a victory, and every evening ended with soft music, laughter, and the dance that once began in secret. One evening, Mr. Harrison called everyone to the grand hall. The chandeliers glittered, and Emily stood, without crutches, holding Lily's hand. "Everyone," he said, voice trembling with pride, "tonight my daughter walks again." Applause erupted. Tears filled Maria's eyes as she held her daughter tight. Emily took slow, steady steps toward her father, who opened his arms. The hall fell silent as she reached him, and for the first time since the accident, they embraced while standing. Then, to everyone's surprise, Emily whispered something to her father. "Dad, I have a secret." He frowned gently. "What is it, darling?" She pointed toward Maria and Lily. "They're more than just our helpers. They're family." Mr. Harrison looked at them, the two faces that had brought light into his home, and something shifted in his chest. He nodded, slowly. "You're right." He walked to Maria and Lily. "You both saved my daughter's life. I can't ever repay that, but I'll try." Maria tried to protest, but he raised his hand. "From today, this is your home. Maria, you'll no longer serve. You'll manage. And Lily, He smiled at the girl who once swept his floors. "You'll run my new foundation for children with disabilities who dream of dancing again." Gasps filled the hall. Lily stared at him, speechless. "Me, sir?" "Yes, you showed us what hope looks like." Emily clapped with joy, her laughter echoing through the mansion. For the first time, it sounded like pure freedom. Months later, the Emily Grace Foundation opened, a place where children of all backgrounds could dance, heal, and rediscover life. And at the center of it all stood Lily and Emily, their friendship unbreakable, their story whispered across the city as the miracle of the mansion. But perhaps the greatest miracle was what happened quietly one morning as Mr. Harrison sat by the window watching them rehearse. Maria walked in to serve tea, and he turned to her with a soft smile. "You know," he said thoughtfully, "I used to think wealth was what made a man powerful. But now I know. It's compassion. Your daughter taught me that." Maria smiled gently. "Sir, sometimes the richest hearts are found in the poorest homes." Outside, laughter and music floated through the air. Emily twirled, light on her feet, while Lily guided her gently. The man who once measured life in money now measured it in moments. Moments of courage, kindness, and grace. And although no one would ever forget how it all began, they knew one truth for sure. Sometimes the smallest act of love can move even the most paralyzed soul.